Hello, everybody. It's Philip. We're going to go over the active listing addendum and the compensation adjustment agreement. This is only to be used when you have a listing that's active and multiple listing service has now dropped the offer of compensation to the other brokers and buyers agents. You would not need to use this if the listing has an accepted offer on it, and it's pending or contingent. It would just change under the old terms. This would be for an active listing that we need to now adjust this new world we're living in where there's no automatic offer of compensation. So the very first thing we're going to do when you fill this out, you're going to put the seller's name. Under that, it says that this is an addendum to the listing agreement dated. You'll put the date that is and the property that this is for. And it does explain, based on the recent real estate industry and updates to board rules, the exclusive right to sell listing agreements modified as follows. So the very first one, total commission owed to Key Realty. As stated in the current listing agreement, compensation is adjusted to. So basically what you're doing is you're taking the amount of commission you had and you're subtracting out what was offered as buyer's compensation. That would be the new amount that they owe if you didn't sell it and an outside broker sold it. The outside broker is going to be compensated based on the amount of money that they asked to be compensated in the listing agreement. So it does adjust number 2. It also says, but if the listing agent procures the buyer, an additional fee of blank percentage will be added. So if you listed it at 7, you are offering 3, the new commission rate would be 4 under number 1. If you say, well, listen, but if I bring the buyer, I want an additional 2%, then you would put the 2% on line 2. It also goes on to state that the compensation is no longer offered through the multiple listing service. The sellers may choose to assist the buyer with acquisition costs. So when we look at that, it means that the seller is willing to pay buyer concessions. And most multiple listing services, it's going to be a yes or no question. Some will not publish in multiple listing services, some will. But the seller will offer concessions, yes or no. It's required in many MLSs. And then this is, we would tell the buyer's agents that yes, they are considering paying compensation through concessions. Number 2 is the seller offer the following buyer concessions. They can either put a dollar amount or a percentage in there, and that it reminds them that all commissions are negotiable and all other terms remain the same. It's simply how you go about presenting this to them to make the adjustment to the current listing they have that was signed prior to the change in the buyer MLS rules. After this, you'll be using the new listing agreement, which addresses these issues. It does remind them that offering buyer concessions is optional. It's not mandatory, nor is there any board standard amount, that all fees are negotiable between the parties. Hopefully this answers your questions, and we'll move forward from here. Thank you.